Hello, my beautiful friends. How's everybody doing today? We're actually up in my family room right next to my beautiful Christmas tree. And I thought we would film today's video in more natural lighting because the foundation I've been testing for several days now, I've been applying that in my beauty room, which has more natural lighting than down in the basement. So I just want to keep things a little consistent here. So the foundation I'm actually testing out and have been testing out is the Revlon Colorstay. I believe this is a new formula. There's two different formulas, and I got mine for normal to dry skin because, as you guys know, I have dry, mature skin, especially in these winter months. So this has hyaluronic acid in it, and I got mine in the shade 200, and it also has SPF of 20 in it. But the claims on this product is pretty high, and I'll go through that right now. I'm actually going to go on their website and tell you what they say here. So there's 24 shades available in this formula. So the hyaluronic acid is supposed to give our skin 120% more moisture. It also says that it's transfer resistant, waterproof, and mask friendly. It also claims to be heat, sweat, and humidity resistant. So those are huge claims if you ask me. So again, this is like the fourth day that I've worn this product. The first two that I filmed were wear tests. So let's go through those first 2 days that I did film applying that. So I'm just going to move over a little bit because I'm going to put a split screen here. Okay, so this is me going in day one with my foundation. I decided to use the MSM. This is like a pore filler, and it also works great as a primer. And I applied that pretty much focusing in the T-zone, and it really does blur the pores. It's very similar to my Maybelline Master Blur Stick. Now I'm going in with the foundation, as you can see here. It had a pretty runny consistency. I was expecting a thicker formula, I think. But as you can see, it has a wonderful shade match for my skin tone. And it blended beautifully with that brush. And also what I found with this formula, it's very buildable. It goes on probably like a high and medium. I could still see imperfections coming through, but it's very skin-like. I really enjoyed how this applied. It didn't seem super thick, but it did dry down relatively quickly. So you do have, some working time, but you do want to work a little quick as well. But as you can see, it looks very pretty, super even. And I was testing here for, to see if it did oxidize, which it does not at all. So that's pretty impressive. Okay, so here I'm just showing how it's set, sitting on my skin. It did not settle in my fine lines or wrinkles. To me, it does show a little more texture than I'm used to seeing. But once I applied all the rest of my makeup, as you can see, it looks really nice. I have a nice glow. Again, I can see a little bit more fine lines than I'm usually seeing. But again, you guys, I'm in, a lot of bright lights where it, that kind of stuff is truly visible. So here I'm just showing again what I used for the day. I used the MSN. For my concealer, I used the Milani Conceal and Perfect, and that's like in the melon color, and the LYS concealer. And I'll go through that in a minute, my thoughts on that. And then I set my face with the House Laboratories. That is a powder form. And then I went over that with the Makeup Forever HD. And I also used that under the eyes. And then for my blush, I used the LYS. And then for my lipstick, I used the Profusion. And that's the Crystal Ritual. I actually got that during Halloween. And it's a beautiful shade, as you can see. So this is what it looks like in the beginning of the day. Let's see what time it is, you guys. It's 2:46 in the afternoon. I'm coming back at 1:21 a.m. in the morning, you guys. So this is what makeup looks like after all those hours. As you can see, though, I do see a lot more fine lines and wrinkles. It actually looks like my skin has dried out a little bit, but what's impressive is there's no caking whatsoever, and there's actually makeup still on my nose. But as you can see under the eyes, I thought they looked a little crepey, but from a distance you can't tell, but as I came up closer, I think you guys did. But the longevity of that makeup is pretty impressive. We're on day 2. I decided to use the Magic Finish again by MSM. Again, I'm just rubbing that in really well into my pores. Today I decided to use a more hydrating primer, so I decided to use my Keys Soak here. It just gives a beautiful glow, as you can see. It really does hydrate my skin. It's actually like a skincare. Okay, so we're going into day 2, you guys, with the foundation. Again, I'm using a brush to apply it, and again, it is applying really really evenly. I love that brush, by the way. As you can see, you can get around all of the edges really well. Today, I think it looks a little bit more luminous, if you guys would agree here. It doesn't look as dry on application. I'm not seeing texture as much as I did the first day. So yeah, this is with the makeup all applied. I think it looks really nice. I think today it actually looks better this day here. My under eyes still look a little dry, but you guys, they have been a little dry lately. But as you can see, I do have a little bit of a acne coming through on that side as I was showing, and you could see it. But it's very blurred. Everything is blurred. You know, it doesn't really stick out. So today I decided just to only test in the T-zone, and I used the Makeup HD and actually the Wet n Wild Photo Focus. Again, just through the T-zone. Again, I used the same two products for under my eyes, and then I decided to use this beautiful blush by Sephora, and it's in the shade Heated. It is gorgeous. And for my lipstick, I used my Milani, and this is in the shade Secret, another beautiful shade. Then I set my face with my Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define, my Holy Grail setting spray, and off to work I went, you guys. So that was at 8:06 a.m. Okay, so I'm at my lunch hour. We're halfway through the day. It's 12:50, and this is what the makeup is looking like. I do see, like, I do have a blemish peeking through, so that was there this morning, but it just seems like it's more prominent now. Around the T-zone, it's still looking pretty good, which is pretty impressive for me. And the forehead is not settling in any of my fine lines or wrinkles. I think the concealer still looks pretty good. There might be just slight creasing. Around the mouth looks really nice. Again, there might be some wear there because I'm one of these. You guys, you know how I do that. I lean on my chin a lot, so that's very normal. But from a distance, it looks really good. It's super hard for me to tell on my phone because my eyes are super blurry with vision right now. And these lines are from my glasses. So again, that's very normal. But you guys, as of right now, I think it's looking very promising. So I'll see you later tonight. Okay, it is now almost 11 o'clock at night, and this is what the makeup is looking like. And I am not careful at work, you guys. When I'm at work, I'm always leaning. You know, I'm wiping my face. I'm not cautious because I know that I'm not going to have to be filming or anything. So, and then I came home. I fell asleep on the couch, and God knows what position I landed in there. But this is where we're at, and I'm thinking it is looking really good. It does not settle in fine lines or wrinkles at all. The concealer is starting to look a little crepey, but you guys, it's almost 16 hours. I don't even know how long. It's, you know, several hours. And the only place there's really anywhere, slightly on the chin, slightly on the nose, right here, I was noticing even at lunchtime, a little bit of fading. But again, you guys, I'm always, you know, leaning or doing something like that. So right now, I'm super impressed. I will say at this point, yesterday, when I first used it, I used a little bit more powder, and it did feel a little drying, which is kind of odd because this is supposed to be for a dry skin. So today I decided to use less powder. So I think that's why maybe through here I didn't get the longevity like I did yesterday, but you know, it didn't feel as dry. So, you know, we got one more day to test this. You know, I wanted to do a 3-day wear test. As of right now, I am super impressed with this. So this is pretty promising. And for a drugstore, Revlon, I'm super happy with this formula. It's one of the most long-wearing foundations I have, I believe. So, yeah, this is where we're at, you guys. We got one more day. So I will see you guys on Wednesday. Okay, so here we are on day 3, and I'm super excited to try this out again. I'm going to use a few different products that I have been using just to see if it makes any difference whatsoever. So this is what my skin looks like prior to putting any of the foundation on. I have just normal skincare, what I've been wearing, you know, for the past several weeks. So nothing's going to change there. So as you can see, I just want you to see all the texture, just to see if anything changes. I've already done my eye look, and what I used was this Wet n Wild. I love this palette here. This is called the Always Naked. I absolutely love this palette. It is just such a wonderful color story. You know, they blend beautifully. You guys, let's get into this wear test. So to fill my pores, I'm actually going to use my Master Blur Stick. And you guys, I have to get a new one today, big time. So I'm going to look in the stores when I'm out because I am like right at the end here. I'm actually going to have to take a little bit on my finger and really spread the love here. So I am just going to put this in my T-zone and really push that into the skin. I tell you guys all the time how important that is with any kind of pore filler, but it's so true because if you don't, I have noticed that sometimes like the foundation will just sit right on top of it. Okay, so that's all nice and pressed in. And I think for my primer, I'm going to use this. And this is my Maybelline 4-in-1 Perfector. I love using this as a primer. As you can see, it's very well loved. And this is in the shade 01 Light. And the reason why I love using this as a primer a lot is because it's very hydrating on my skin. And it does, you know, keep a nice glow going within, you know, once you put the foundation over it. So I just use my fingers and I apply it just like I would any primer. Okay, as you can see, the beautiful glow that just gave my skin, and it really does even out my skin tone. Okay, you guys, let's go into the Revlon Colorstay, and again, I got mine in the shade 200, and I think I am just going to add a little bit of a color adjuster to it, like a little darker shade, just to darken it up a little bit, just to see if it makes any difference whatsoever. Okay, so I'm just going to mix that in. And I just altered the shade slightly, you guys. I just added like one dot. Again, when I use these kind of adjusters, well, again, they don't make that anymore, but when I do use that, it does not alter this formula whatsoever. So again, I just deepened it up a little bit. I'm going to use my BK, and this is the 101. And I'm just going to kind of start stamping that into my skin. And as you can see how quickly this does blend out. And it does cover quite a bit, but again, it is a more lighter coverage than I was anticipating. I thought it was going to be a little bit more full coverage, to tell you the truth, but I do like that you could build up on this product. So I just added a little bit more to my brush, and I'm just going to go in the areas that I need a little bit more coverage. Again, I love this brush. As you can see, when I go around my eyebrow, it really just forms all around that area. I'm just taking my sponge and pressing that into my skin and picking up any excess product that is not needed. Okay, so I'm going to come closer so you guys can see what this looks like. And as you can see, it's more of a drier formula, if you ask me. Like, it's already dried down. There's a slight tack to it, but not much. But yeah, I can just notice like through certain areas that it's already dried down, and it doesn't have any luminosity really. I think what we're seeing, the glow that we're seeing right now, is coming from the primer. So it's just something to think about, which I just found so interesting, you know, considering there's hyaluronic acid in it. Okay, so let's apply the concealer, and I do want to try something different. I don't know if you guys see my last video I was talking about. I've been using this and testing it out. It's by LYS, and it's the Triple Fix, and this is a full coverage brightening concealer. I actually got it from my daughter-in-law. She got it in her BoxyCharm, and it was too dark for her, so she gave it to me, and I've been testing this out for like 3 days as well. It's been on in all those other videos, and I got mine in the shade LP4. So my thoughts on this is it looks great on application, but by the end of the day, if you guys notice, it started looking pretty crepey. And I don't know if it's because I had that Milani Conceal and Perfect under it. So I'm going to try the Milani Supercharged under it and see how that, you know, how that goes. So I am going to grab my concealer brush. Again, this is my Supercharged, and it's in the shade 120 Peach. So I use this as like a color corrector. Just for my under eyes right here in the inner corner, because I do have some darkness there, but also because this is super hydrating. I love this. It really feels like a serum to me, and it, you know, adds hydration to my dry under eyes. So every time I use this with, any kind of concealer, I usually don't get any crepiness under. So I'm going to see if it's the concealer or if it's that Milani Conceal and Perfect. So as you can see how hydrated and dewy my under eyes look, I honestly could go out like this without concealer and be okay, but I am going to be testing again this LYS to see how it does work with this Milani. So I'm just going to place a little bit of the LYS, and I have been going a little lower and applying a little bit more than usual, and I will show you why. I do like to take my brush now and really work low first, and I'm creating like a lightness under the eye because I'm getting like that hollow effect as I get older, and of course light brings things forward, so I'm hoping to bring that hollowness more forward. But as you can see, it really does apply really nice. It's very creamy upon application. I love how this product applies. Okay, so this is what the LYS looks like. It's like a lighter coverage. I don't think it's very full coverage. Maybe you could work it up to that, but you're seeing how much concealer I used, and it doesn't look super cakey or anything. What I'm going to try today is not set it, just use a setting spray to set it so I don't get a lot of creasing. Okay, you guys, so what I'm going to use, I also want to test out this product here. It's by Tarte. It's the Tarte C. I actually used it in my last video, but I really wasn't able to do a really long wear test on it. So this is the Breezy palette, and I think this is a limited edition, but there's a huge mirror, and these are the shades. So you get a bronzer and 2 blushes. I love how it applied yesterday, so I'm super excited to try this product again. So I'm actually going to go in with the bronzer, and I'm going to apply that all across the forehead. I love the shade of bronzer. It is very natural. I love the formula. It does blend in very easily, I find. It's creamy, but then it does dry down to a more matte finish. So now I'm just going to place a little bit on my cheekbone just to hollow out that to make it a little chiseled. Then I'm just going to place a little bit on my double chin here and go right along the jawline just to really chisel that out. And then I am going to take my sponge again and just go around the edges just to make that look more seamless. Okay, and then for blush today, I think I'm just going to use this shade here, and it's more like a mauve shade, super pretty, and these are very pigmented. Now I did find that yesterday, by the end of the day, I did hit quite a bit of pigment on my cheek left from several hours. So I feel like the blush, I definitely think this is long wearing. The bronzer is more that I need to really investigate on. So I'm super interested to see how long this bronzer lasts today. Okay, so I finished off the eye look, and what I did was mix those 2 shades right here, put it on a fluffy brush, and really just smoked out that lower lash line. But I also want to add like a little bit of a bone color in the waterline. So I'm going to use my Tarte, and this is their Double Take Awake. One side it's like a liquid liner, and the other side has like this bone liner shade. So again, I'm just going to place that in my waterline. And I just feel like that just really opens the eye. And you got to be really careful because it is super pigmented. Okay, you guys, let's set this face. Again, I think what I'm going to do is maybe just lightly dust all around the perimeter and really just set the T-zone. Again, I'm not going to place any powder on these under eyes just to see if that makes a difference. And what I'm going to use is my Wet n Wild, and this is the Photo Focus. I've been really enjoying this powder, you guys. I think it's wonderful, especially for the price. So what I think I'm going to do is take a poof here, and that's how I love setting my T-zone. And I really just do that press and roll. And I really find that that does blur my pores really well. And it really pushes this powder into the skin. Okay, again, just to set the rest of the face, I'm actually just wanting to set these cream products. I'm going to use very little powder. So I'm really going to push that into the bristles, tap that off really good, back into the cap, and I'm also going to tap it again. So again, I'm just using very little powder. Okay, and before I set my face with any setting spray, I am just going to go back in with the brush that I have some blush on, just to add a little bit more. Just wanted a little bit more color in my face. So now we're just going to set everything down. I'm going to use my Makeup Revolution, and this is my Conceal and Define. I just put it in one of these little travel ones, you guys. I think I used this on my trip, so we might as well go through this. And I definitely am not shy with my setting sprays, as you guys know. So I am also going to spray a sponge here. And again, I'm just going to set my under eyes with a little bit of setting spray. So once that's a little damp, I am just going to take my finger and really just press that until it is dry. So I think I want to use a highlighter today, and I think I'm going to go in with my Catrice, and this is the Glow Lover. So it looks like this. It's like a baked formula. They actually sent this to me. It's super pretty, and I believe it's called Glowy Peony. So I'm just going to use a little bit here, and it's not glittery whatsoever. It just adds a beautiful glow. And I really think that this shade would go on anybody because, again, it just adds a glow factor, not so much any shade. I'm just going to place a little bit on my Cupid's bow and a little bit on the tip of my nose. So that looks really pretty. Again, just very natural. And for my lips, I'm going to go in with this lip liner. I actually get it from Amazon. It comes in a pack of 12. And this is in the shade, I believe, yes, chocolate. So it's a beautiful brown shade here. And these are super creamy. And you almost have to use a very light hand because they are super pigmented. And those are super long wearing lip liners, and I think it's going to pair really nice with this Matte Fetish lipstick by Milani. And I got mine in the shade Desire. These have such an amazing formula. So look at that shade. I love this. It is so my vibe this winter. It's just that nice, deep, rich brown. And these have such an amazing smell or scent to them. I can't place it. Maybe a little bit of vanilla, but I love the scent of these. So yeah, I think that nice chocolate brown shade looks really nice with this look. So that is it, you guys. This is what the foundation looks like. So I'm going to come really close so you can take a look at the foundation and the concealer. Okay, so this is up close and personal. And let's see if the texture shows like it did in the other videos. I can see it slightly through here. I mean, I do have texture for sure, but I just want to see if it is accentuated. I think the eyes look a little better today, maybe paired with that supercharged. And this is the forehead here. Again, we're in natural lighting, so things are going to be different, much different than they are downstairs with all the bright lights and everything. But from here, I think it looks really pretty, and definitely from a distance. So yeah, you guys, I'm really liking it. I'll do a few check-ins, and of course I'll come back about 8 hours later and we'll do that final check-in then. You say hi to everybody. Say hello. Hello. Caners. Kane. Who's the baby? Who's the baby? Yeah. You my sweet boy. Okay, so we are over halfway in, and maybe I should get in better lighting, but this is what the makeup's looking like. So actually, let me get in better lighting. I just wanted to show you my baby Kane first. Come here, Daryl. Want to say hi? No. No. Too late. Damn it. Hi, Kane. Say hello. Come here. Take that out.
Thank you.
All right. What? Okay. it's 8 o'clock, so I missed my halfway mark check-in, but this is where we're at. I just had dinner. I have not reapplied the lipstick, so as you can see, that lip liner is still on, and some of the lipstick, but right now the makeup is looking pretty good. Blush has faded a little bit. The bronzer seems to still be there, so it's opposite of what happened yesterday. So, I mean, it's still there. It just faded slightly. But I'll just come closer just so we can take a look. But all in all, as of right now, I think it looks really good. It doesn't feel as dry as it has in the past few days, so I'm pretty happy about that. But as of right now, I'm super happy. So I'm going to come back about 10:30 tonight, and that will be my final check-in. See you in a little bit. It is past midnight, so we're well past that 8-hour mark, and this is how my makeup is looking. I will say, out of all the days I've been testing this foundation, I think tonight it actually looks the best. I cannot believe how intact my makeup looks right now. I don't have any caking whatsoever, around the nose. I still have makeup on my nose. I don't feel like I have to powder my face because it's super shiny. But that being said, because it is a drier formula, I mean, I have almost zero oils coming through, which is interesting because it's formulated for normal to dry skin. It has hyaluronic acid in it. So that's what's confusing me a little bit. But, you got to take the pros with the cons. The pros is it definitely is long wearing and it does not settle in your fine lines or wrinkles at all. The con is, it is low drying and it does show a texture a little bit more than usual. But I will say pairing it with this today made a huge difference. And I do think my under eyes look a lot better as well. And I think pairing the LYS with the Milani Supercharge made a huge difference because they don't look crepey like they did in those earlier clips. And let's talk about that Tarte palette as well. That's super long wearing. I think my bronzer and the blush looks really good. I think when I came in earlier to do that check-in, I had the lights super bright and it kind of washed it out. But now looking, I mean, there's minimal fading, you guys. It looks really good. Another thing I want to mention too is that Tarte liner that I put in the waterline. That's still there, you guys, and you're talking 9 hours later. So I'm super impressed with all the makeup that I chose today. So my final thoughts on this foundation, I think if I pair it with the right skincare and the right primer, I'm actually going to enjoy this one. But let me know what you guys think, and let me know if you guys have tried this. And if so, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you found it informative and helpful. And if you did, if you please hit that like button, I would truly appreciate it. I can't wait to see you guys again. I love you so much, and until next time.